Oh, hi guys, how are you doing? So, I haven't actually played Sonic Frontiers, but I've been watching a lot of streams today, and I've also been reading a lot of reviews, mostly off Steam, as well as a few more professional reviews, so I just thought I would give you an overview of what the game is looking like at the moment. Should you consider picking it up at the moment, or should you wait, or perhaps not pick it up at all? So, first impressions, it's a Sonic game, and I love Sonic games. Graphically, it doesn't look that great to me. There's quite a few issues with a lot of things popping up very quickly in the game, and I don't like the repetitive colour schemes. I mean, there's a lot of greens and greys, grey rocks, green grass, for example, and this just seems to be repeated for hours and hours into the game in the hub world. Some people have said the music is amazing, but when I listen to it, some of it sounds very out of place, like it should be in a Deus Ex game. Amy has been kidnapped by giant rock people called the Titans. You have to go into a new world and save her. The world is open world, and it kind of rips off Breath of the Wild, which was a Legend of Zelda game. I'm sure you guys know that, but it doesn't quite look as good as Breath of the Wild in my opinion, because Breath of the Wild was absolutely stunning, whereas this game kind of looks a bit repetitive visually. There are little creatures called Coco, which are kind of copied versions of the Korak seeds from Breath of the Wild. You kind of advance through the game by defeating enemies and by solving puzzles, though they are better suited to a Zelda game than a Sonic game. The enemies get quite repetitive too, apparently. A lot of people have said that you can skip them a lot of the time without any consequences. There's a lot of issues with range mechanics. Things pop in very, very quickly, and you can kind of see the terrain for quite a long way, but a lot of the elements just pop in randomly, and it actually looks very jarring and quite strange. I don't know why they couldn't do a better job of sort of some kind of render fading engine or something like that, because I'm sure they could have if they wanted to. So Sonic has different methods of attack. One of the attacks is called a cyber loop, where you run around in a big circle or other shape, perhaps a certain inappropriate shape, and this can either attack an enemy or it can give you an infinite number of rings. There's also various button combinations that you can press, a bit like Street Fighter or something, which will do various moves to attack the enemies with. And of course you've got your classic momentum based attacks as well, where you obviously smash into different enemies. The bosses look quite awesome actually. They're one of the best things about the game, I think, that I've seen, and there's also quite a few different interesting levels within the game which you kind of teleport to, and these are a bit more like the classic Sonic Generations game. There is a bit of a problem with a lot of tutorials and notifications and pop-ups and things which I've noticed, which seem very annoying within the game. There's also a lot of stuff copied from Breath of the Wild, so obviously this is an open world game. A lot of the sound effects, a lot of the towers and ruins and various things like that kind of seem to be copied elements. A lot of people have said they aren't great big fans of the controls. That's a real shame. I personally think that Sonic Generations absolutely have the controls down to a T, so it's kind of a shame that the controls are inferior to Generations. I think there's a good 15-20 hours if you want them in this game to complete it, so you're certainly getting some bang for your buck, and there's a lot of cool little elements. For example, there's fishing with Big the Cat, which a lot of people have said they really enjoy. A lot of people have also said that they've got performance issues, which I'm sure a lot of them will be patched out of the game. People are quite annoyed that they can only view the game at 60 frames per second on a PC, when, you know, usually most games can run at a much higher frame rate. Apparently there's also random frame drops for some people, especially with cutscenes. There's also some random crashes that people have reported, where you might go into the graphics menu, and someone else mentioned that there's so much grass in the game it's causing the game to lag. There are little rock people called Coco, and you have to help the Coco solve various puzzles. For example, maybe one of them loses their girlfriend and you have to go reunite them. People have said that this is just an inferior version of the Korok seeds from Breath of the Wild. People have said that it's actually really fun playing as Sonic. I still think this is definitely worth it for fans of recent Sonic games.
The game, it's actually pretty good, actually. It's different to what I'm used to, but it's definitely not bad either.
Sometimes the execution doesn't feel that great. Now, I've heard there's also going to be a Chow Garden in the game, which you can get as DLC. I've got no idea whether or not that'll be good. I always think a Sonic game should be bright and vibrant, and it should kind of have, you know, preppy, optimistic music. It's kind of a bit of a mixed bag here, I think. I think I will play the game, and I think I will play it, but I think I'm going to wait for a few patches, and I think I might also wait till there's a bit of a Steam sale or something and the price comes down from £50 or $60. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Have you played the game? Do you intend on buying it? Let me know what you think, and I will speak to you guys soon.